She's making ground. Coolangatta the leader. Russian Conquest on the outside. Coolangatta, Russian Conquest. Coolangatta, Russian Conquest the outside. Coolangatta has held on to win for Russian Conquest.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, episode 2 for the year, and we're doing an ISO edition. I haven't got COVID. I don't think Walt's got COVID. Half of the people that came up for the Gold Coast Magic Millions have taken COVID back down to Melbourne and Sydney. It's an absolute debacle, but I've just chosen to isolate from Walt just to keep myself sane. But we'll cross now to Walt from his dungeon. How are you, big fella?
I'm relaxed now. That week's over. That's just a nightmare of a week for me. People come out of the woodwork, the once-a-year friends that want to play golf and want to get amongst it. And I was good. We sort of, because had Tim staying here over the weekend, I sort of ducked and weaved most of it, and then just went and saw you guys on the Saturday, and that was it. But it was a more relaxing Magic Millions than usual. But I'm happy it's once a year.
So you patched up the damn wall of F-bombs. They were just spewing out on Saturday afternoon. Russian Conquest was a good result for us in the stream, and obviously you personally, me personally. Have you recovered?
Why bring it up? Why bring it up this early? Like, at least sign off and press me and put me in a coma for the rest of the day. But now you've thrown me off for it. No, it was all right. It wasn't that bad. It was a shot at the title for a few weeks out where I sort of multied everything I could possibly do it into the Snowden runners and swing at the title and missed it because of a good ride. Like, holy hell, you wouldn't want it over. Like, my God, the horse parades are. You sound like a broken record, and definitely no excuses Saturday. But if that horse makes the slipper, I'll give it away. Any of those horses make the slipper. So I'd love to have that bet every day of the week, but came up the wrong side of it Saturday, unfortunately.
So you'll be looking for new form going into the slipper. And I guess it sort of draws us onto another race. A horse like Wisdom of Water, absolute track lover at the Gold Coast, winning, I think, the last race over about 1,300 metres. Like, high pressure races over 1,100 and 1,200 metres. He just doesn't register in the southern states. But here he is, pops up back to his home deck, softer tempo, and lobs.
It was a bit of a lottery. Like, most of those races were pretty arse lotteries, and Tim was actually I didn't even watch it. Tim comes home and he goes, "I should have won the last." And I went and had a look at it, and that thing that Camel, that those weak bastards back for the place. Whatever it was called, that sat in the 1-1. They had that Michael Murphy, and he's swinging around on it like this and sort of steered in front of Tim, flattens Tim, and Rachel gets through and gets the run Tim gets. Tim gets the same run on, I can't remember what it was, F Troop or something. He probably wins the race. So, but it's that sort of horse that it's got that suck, gap exposed, sprinted from 100 metres, and that's probably why he won the race. But a lot of those races Saturday, like, it's a bit like that. Whatever gets that suck run and gets exposed late. There was so many races where horses aren't really suited to the race, but because it's $1 million, throw up the stumps, and that's why they're so hard. You get 20 runners where there's a lot of feel, and then you do need a bit more luck on Magic Millions Day than other days, that's for sure.
So do you just put most of that form in the bin, black book a couple, and move on?
100%. Like, and that's the problem. Like, you've got runners there that were sort of stretched out to make Magic Millions Day, then you've got other runners that are different. So I just treat them all on like a pretty glorified barrier trial. And the horses that have peaked there, you're probably really keen to take them on next time, because they would have thrown the kitchen sink at most of them to peak for those big races. And what have they got left now? Like, it's a bit of one of those days. It's like treat it like an off-season low carnival that they target, and then that form going forward is really strong.
It's a funny couple of weeks. We sort of hit a flat spot for a little bit. The 2-year-olds start to crank up, especially in Melbourne. Melbourne Carnival starts to kick along, but it's not for another fortnight. The good races don't come back. But just to recap, Little Birdie Million Stream, it was a $50 starting unit, and the boys returned $62.19 there, so a 24.3% return. So the MacBet boys are pretty patient. They stuck to their guns. It was a funny day. Nothing really jumped out for either of you guys. And again, it's funny. We set these days. We pick Magic Millions Day, and you just don't know until all the final fields trickle through. You start doing the form, and it's not always just meetings that you want to sink your teeth into. But hopefully, we can launch more punters clubs. We'll get the bank issue fixed on our app, but the app's moving really quickly, so all the notifications and stuff was zipping through there. But we've just got a slight glitch with our API feed and our communications in with TopSport. So the starting bank and the unit prices just wouldn't update, and the investments just wouldn't calculate. So we're working on them to rectify that. And as soon as that we can get those sorted, we'll start to launch some more punters clubs and a bit more regularly. But how did you find it, Walt? You were first up from a big spell. I think Warrnambool was your last little stream, but you're in emotional turmoil there after the Russian conquest. But just in terms of the strategy for the stream, like it's from my perspective, I think you need to try and take some doubles of your best bets because you're trying to grow a bank in a limited amount of time, limited amount of races. And the challenge is at the start of the day, you've got, I guess, the starting amount of bullets, which is not much. You try and build the bank up and it's you've got to condense, I guess, like a month's worth of betting into a day. It's not easy, is it?
Well, you got to, if your goal is to see what a professional punter does on the day, those guys are probably the ultimate people to watch because they're, I'm not saying conservative, but that's they're setting their mindset that, units, things like that. It was interesting to watch how they worked, moving their maps around, the three of them talking to say, to get at this price, we've got to get it here. I learned a little bit about, how they do things and they're sort of not, I don't think, of the same mindset of someone like me who wants to get a horse going for a result, which I think they were probably a little bit too conservative, but they handled the day really well. And I don't think if you there wasn't a horse, you're not going to get that $2.80 chance going for a result at Doomben. So say for argument's sake, the race that we kind of agreed on was Russian Conquest. If we had multied everything into it all day, it would have been exciting, but we wouldn't have got the result. So, but I think from an excitement level and to give everyone the best chance of having a bonus sort of result on the day, I think that's the go. You've got to pick one or two targets that everyone agrees on and try and build up a bit of momentum into that race. I think we probably ended up in front of where we would have if we had done that on Saturday. But going forward, I think that's a good idea. Just because the feedback I've got as well as that it was all a bit. They learnt stuff and, they're happy, but it was just, you just didn't feel like it was building to anything. But it wasn't an easy day either.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think even if the boys had been more aggressive early on, you just would have had more on the horses that you found later in the day that lost anyway. So I think you probably end up with the same return on your dividend, but I guess it would have been more exciting because I guess the excitement comes around those sort of big bets.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a much better play because if you have good results early in the day, it's kind of washed out the way we handle it if you sort of up your betting as you go along. Whereas if you're sort of playing them plus building into a couple of options that you like later in the day, maybe, you're more chance and it's less risk. Whereas if you've backed 7 out of 10 winners for the day, and all of a sudden you're loading late and you end up on a bad foot. It doesn't sit well with everyone. Whereas it's not easy to do because you don't want to go broke early and you want to have something going for a result late. But I think it makes sense what you're kind of saying, that you pick your one or two targets that everyone can agree on and you try and have them building throughout the day.
Yeah, because I guess we sort of assume that people are going to bet at home, and I guess most people sort of overbet probably, and they'd be buoyed by our sort of confidence in the stream. So I guess us in the stream try and keep a level head, and then you guys can sort of please yourself, and hopefully we can return a profit on your investment. But 24.3 is nothing to sneeze at for a really tricky day. And yeah, one day there'll be a big bonanza coming, but hopefully we can keep you guys alive. And teach you a couple of things or two on how to survive and how to bet with a bit of discipline. It's going to be a cracking episode. DK, he's conquered the Gold Coast. He's back on the plane. He's going back south.
Who's that? I don't remember that bloke. He's dead to me.
He's just brushed you, mate. Oh,
how does he not show up? How is he not there for the team?
Yeah, there's a couple of people a little bit flat, a little bit disappointed they didn't see the great man. He came to my house a couple of days later and sunk a heaper in. I'll tell you what, sets a cracking pace on the champagne early. They were just absolutely guzzling. So I think he had about 30 fish tacos at my place on Tuesday night. But great to see the great man. He's absolutely pumped to get back into his DK at wide service in Feb. We'll probably get him on next week's show, but he is in transit and getting the family back and settled into Melbourne. It's going to be a cracker. Nico Noonan's going to do his best bets from the Valley. We've got Matt Reid from TasRacing to talk about the Elwick Stakes and the Summer Cup there. It's starting to heat up the Tassie summer series of racing, and all their features start to roll out. So it's a big couple of weeks. As in, they program it really well. So you get some Sunday and some Wednesday feature days. So there's really good racing and a couple of target races there for the Victorian trainers to set their horses for. Even Gay Waterhouse is a big supporter of the carnival. So make sure you check that out. And it's a cracking little, it's an easy flight from Melbourne or Sydney over to Hobart or Launceston for the Cup. A lot of good racing there, and it's a good day out. So make sure you check that out. We've got Mug Punter. He's looking for Chris Waller getting back in the winner's circle. He went 0 from 3 last week, the Mug, and he was a little bit vocal in the YouTube chat stream, and he reckons that Walt's got a bad attitude to life. Any comment there, Walt?
Well, he's probably got food poisoning, so his judgment's probably a little bit clouded, and he does like an even money favourite. So, those sort of punters do seem to ride the roller coaster and then tend to push the blame onto others around them. So I can understand that he would be a little bit volatile, and especially, chiming into CW racing is not easy either. They're either, diamonds or coal. So, I can see why the Mug's a bit volatile.
We've got TopSport Steamers as well, some early money from the Merlihan camp there. See who, probably Walt's money really. The early money seems to be the go with the TopSport Steamers. They're all over Russian Conquest. And we're a little bit surprised, I guess, with the market moves in that 2-year-old race. So we spoke to Johnny McLeod afterwards, and nearly every smart on the planet found Russian Conquest. We thought it'd start $5, and we expected Cool and Gatter to drift, but the Kieran Maher stable, all conquering. They conquered the sales, and when they back them, they seem to go really well, and they stay hard in the market. Walt, you're up first, though, mate. You're going to have a look at Randwick, but before we look at Randwick, I've got the Manscaped shirt on here. You've got the Clippers at home. Has Beck forced you to go the full Nick Rewalt shave down yet? Have you given it a really good go? You haven't even got the boxes out of the wrap.
I got 2 pairs. I bought them on Saturday. I was going to bear them if I found a good price. Nothing sort of stood out there, and I thought your dog might have nipped me on the old fella if I'd have stripped down too much. So I kept it a bit PG on Saturday. But no, we're just easing into it. We're waiting for the weed whacker to show up. That'll be a good day. That's something I like, unboxing things. I've been watching all these. What are they called? Like the old basketball card reveals. I don't mind those shows. I'll be doing that with the weed whacker when it shows up.
It's all about NFTs, not basketball cards. NFTs are the new big thing. I'd love to see you on the crypto market. Be right up your alley. But if you want a Manscaped product, make sure you head to Manscaped website. You can go to the AU or the US version. Doesn't really matter. But type in Little Birdie in, and you'll get 20% off, and that includes your shipping and your total price. So it's a massive discount, so everyone can have it. Your balls will love you, and your missus will be pretty wrapped with it too. And the weed whacker is this little add-on feature too. It's for the nose hairs. And the best thing is about the Manscaped products is they don't cut or nick your balls or your nose. So it's pretty hard to do some damage, and you'll be smooth as a baby's backside. Well, let's have a look at Randwick. It's good to get back to Randwick. You weren't overly wrapped with the Rosehill card last week. You still found a winner. You were in okay form on the stream. Had a couple of torrid runs. I think Liberty Sun was one of them. It was a bit of a car crash watch, but let's push forward and let's have a look at race 1 at Randwick. Odds courtesy of TopSport here, and Silent Impact is the horse I backed early, $3 into 270, Capital Rain $4.80, Quick Tempo $5, Spellcatcher $6.50, Flying Crazy $8.50, Subterranean $9, Mabel $20, and Moradan is $21. But the replay you've called up here is Silent Impact from July 24th in the white and green. Talk us through this.
So, he box seated this day, and I assume he'll get a similar run here. They go, hang on, just make sure. I think they go out quite fast, come out quite well. The time overall is good. The main thing you sort of want to watch here for me is the quality of flesh behind it. So you've got sort of 3 or 4 city winners and provincial winners coming out from behind. You've got King of Sparta, who won the $1 million race the other day. As it sort of said, that's not super form, but it's a lot better form than what anything else in this distance range is coming out of. He went to a Kembla Classic, he sort of race, I'm not sure what it was called, that's the following start, beaten by horses like Giannis, Tiger of Malay, Royal Zell. Again, that form lines up really well here compared to other horses hard in the market. He's first up. A lot of them are first up. I thought they'd make a mistake, actually. Might put up a bit better odds because You've got Capital Rain. It's won 3 of its last 4. Quick Tempo's won its last 5. Spell Catcher's won its last 2. And this horse is coming up off the spell. So I thought they might make a bit of a mistake and put up sort of 4-1 or something. But I think it should be sort of close to the even money mark anyway. I don't think it will get in there because of those sorts of things. But you've got a couple of bunnies here in Capital Rain and Quick Tempo. He should sit just behind him. And I just think that strength, the Waterhouse strength, will kick in. I was a bit sick. I wanted this horse to come up and get to the Magic Millions Carnival, but he sort of had a setback between his first trial and second trial. He's back on track now, and hopefully we'll get paid Saturday.
I think I backed this horse at its second start ever.
Yeah, so he took it to Goulburn. It's weird how Waterhouse does that with their nice horses. They'll often send them down to that sort of region, Goulburn, Canberra, to kick off, and then rapidly put them through their grades. And that was, the good thing about that is it's led over 1,000. I don't expect it'll anywhere near lead these horses, but will be strong. I actually thought that the ones hard in the market weren't even the dangers. I thought sort of Subterranean, Moradam were far more scary than Capital Rain and Quick Tempo, who go up in grade and sort of probably be down on the inside on a track that may not be ideal there too. So I thought the betting was quite strange, to be fair.
You often think that, but you are a strange cat yourself. Okay, 270 at TopSport there for Silent Impact. So there's your anchor for the day. Well, it's only going to give us one. And if you want to get more of his stuff, make sure you head to racingwatch.com.au. And as the races sort of flush out there, he'll talk you through it. You can join his Discord channel and you can sign up. I think it's about $22 a week. So get in there and chat racing with Walt, and you'll get a different perspective. And you've already seen it on the stream. His analysis is absolutely bomb-proof, and may as well just chat to him on a Saturday arvo and get it all on the fly. But you may even cop an 80-1 golf tip. Your man, what was his Jed Morgan or whatever his name was? He went to the line and set a new record or something.
He's one of the fellow who put it up. He's in the Discord actually, and he put up three chances he thought sort of could win, and then a couple of roughies to throw in top 10s, top 20s. I think three out of the 5 you collected, and one of them's lobbed. What did he win by 11 at 80-1 around his home track? I've nenever backed an $81 winner that's won by 11 before. I promise you that. So it was good fun to kick it out. I was still nervous when he was 9 in front with 9 to go, but that was good fun to have that sort of lead. 3 days out, never experienced it before in a golf tournament, and for it to be not Greg Norman with Nick Faldo chasing, I felt even better about life. But it was good fun. The Discord, as we said, the Discord, I think you've got the same going now. The guys are in there 20 hours a day, pumping out information from everywhere on dogs, trots, crypto, shares, basketball. Mate, it never stops. It's all good fun there. They're all full of sickos. So I'm sure yours is the same.
Yeah, well, we haven't really started to crank up yet. We've got some bots that just drop all their shows and some of our content in, but we'll get all hands back on deck in the next sort of week or so. And DK, Nico Noonan, Walt will get in there, and everyone will jump and talk about all the big races. We'll drop in TopSport markets, and there'll be bandit galore. So don't be afraid to ask a question in there, and make sure you check out Walt's Discord channel as well. It is the future, and it's just so easy to upload lots of videos. So if you keep it clean, you won't get kicked or booted. It's very easy to just push the button and banish people, like Walt's just been banished by Racing New South Wales. Sorry, Walt, I shouldn't give you a little cheap shot on the way out, but I had to. It was just an absolute sitter. Thanks for joining us this week, and we'll get you back in the studio, back into the Gold Coast office next week, and no doubt you'll probably have COVID.
I hope so. I'd like to give you something back, but you've already had it. But I'll have to find the Walt strain. I'll have to start my own strain.
That'd be very sick. All right. Thanks, Walt.
Yeah, mate.
All right. Make sure if you're having a bet this week, it's topsport.com.au. They've been in the business for almost 40 years. They're Aussie-owned, and you may as well give the locals a go. Keep the money in Australia. They've got a big team of staff on the Gold Coast, and their service is second to none. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with Nico Noonan and a look at the Valley. Welcome back to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot, and we're doing a little ISO edition. I'm up the Gold Coast, and Nico is in isolation back down there in Melbourne. He's a close contact. He's got a bit of a sniffle, but keeps testing negative. How are you feeling, big fella?
Oh, we're in fresh hell. Yeah, in ISO, but if we can find some winners on Saturday, I think we'll be sweet.
Yeah, well, you've got a little bit of a bonus. You've got Flemington on Friday, and then you got the Valley on the weekend. But I guess you haven't been doing the yard, and you've had a bit of a let up. You're going to come back in a couple of weeks' time or next week. When's the mounting yard return? And it's probably a good time to get it. Be isolated, sit at home, take it easy, and then just bounce back to the track bomb-proof.
Yeah, 100%. Probably, I'd say next Saturday will be the day we're looking to come back. And then from the Wednesday after, that's probably when the subs can kind of rebuy. But next Saturday might be a little freebie there. That's if I'm still sweet to go. But hopefully that's the case. And yeah, had a good little freshen up, few days down at the beach, and had a wedding to go to and all that. So I've been pretty busy. But now just a little bit of a kickback week, and then we'll rip into it. Big races are just around the corner. I think in 3 weeks we've got a Group 1. So it's all starting to heat up, isn't it?
And I see that you and Trav have got this little Patron subscription just out wide on features and sort of like futures bets. It looks like a pretty cool page there, and you've just done some previews around the 2-year-olds. Obviously, we've just bought a yearling up at the Magic Millions with Roll the Dice, and it's a Rubik, and Mick Price has got another smart one, that Jackano, and I see back on Boxing Day, you just sort of declared it after you watched that victory and said that it might be the best 2-year-old in Melbourne. Is that still some of your beliefs?
Well, I think we haven't seen that many good 2-year-olds at the moment. We've got a 2-year-old race on Saturday at Moonee Valley, which we will preview. Obviously, Coolangatta's probably your A seed, but I think she showed, at the Gold Coast, she's no superstar. Like, she can be beaten, and especially if some other classier horses sort of step out this time of year, which I think we're going to start to see. So, the 2-year-old race, it's wide open. Jack and O, the subs for the MYM will remember him from Boxing Day. We had a good crack at him that day. But, I think he's probably he's the favourite for the Blue Diamond at the moment. So I think he's definitely, seat 1A for that race. But I think Saturday we could be seeing some 2-year-olds that really come into calculation for that. And even next Wednesday, I think they have the preludes as well. So good time of the year if you're a keen sort of 2-year-old punter like I am.
What about the walk? I sent you a little teaser video of the horse that we bought. Do you like our colt, Lot 433?
I did like him, actually. There was a few sort of sent through. I thought, but that one I really did like. So he's a real nice mover, which I think is a big thing when you're sort of buying these horses. You can have all the pedigree and all the page and that, and you can pay 1.1 million and they can't go. I think the walk is the most important thing for mine. So that is one thing he is probably, really got down pat there. He's a real smooth mover. So, good buy by the team there at Roll the Dice for sure.
It's pretty depressing stuff out of the sales. It's a lot of hard work, and then you just sit there and just get blown out of the water. I think Henry Field bought the Lot 108. It was a written buy, and you can see why everyone absolutely loves the written buys. He was just this little tank. Maybe he would have got a little bit too heavy, but I think it'd be just absolute torture to follow the horses. You just wouldn't bother following any of the horses that you're underbidder on. It'd be a nightmare just knowing that the ones that you liked and didn't have enough money for just come out and destroyed them. I think it's too much torture to do that.
Well, imagine being like John McArdle, underbidder on So You Think. Like, there's a life-changing horse, and he's the underbidder. So
yeah, it makes you sick. All right, an easier task is this Saturday, and we're going to have a look at race 2 at the Valley. And Eros has come up favourite on the TopSport market here. It's a 1,200-metre race for 2-year-olds. Sumatra is $3.20. Count the Headlights is $4.40 out from $3.80. Reservoir Dog $8. Hoops is $18. Bill Bowler $26. Same price for Con Notsu. And Lorry Blue $67 here. But Count the Headlights is the jump out that you found here, Nico. And it's just in a Mar Eustace blue with the white spots. And it peels off Eureka in the Eureka Storm in the pink. So that's a Mick Price runner there. It's a little bit blurry there, but once you start to identify the pink horse coming into the straight, you'll see the Mar Eustace just sort of switch off his heels and come to the outside. And it's pretty good work, don't you think?
Yeah, lovely piece of work. I thought they both worked really well, these two horses. I think these are two horses that will come into calculation for a race like the Blue Diamond, especially this horse, Count the Headlights. 1,200 on debut, looks like it's really going to suit him. Just look at the turn of foot he shows late. He just absolutely powers to the line in really good time as well. 46-1, that is absolutely hooning around that course. Big margin. Love the way when he was asked for an effort there, he just lengthened and really strided out and found something. That was the blinkers on. Prior to that, he had a jump out with the blinkers off. and was sort of around the mark with Lofty Storm, Bon Hur, Maximilius, who've all been either winning, placing, or starting favourite in 2-year-old races. And I think he improved off that when the blinkers went on. So blinkers stay on for Saturday. Drawn barrier number 5. I think this is a really smart colt. I've backed him in the Blue Diamond. I think he can definitely measure up there. I think a real high pressure race is what he's going to be suited to. I reckon he might find that here on Saturday. Reservoir Dog's very fast early from the Buston Young stable. He'll probably fall in a hole late. So will Laurie Blue. So predicted early tempo, I've got fast here. Look, there is some other smart horses in this race. Eros rated through the roof on debut, 9.5 lengths above on the class benchmark on punting form for the maiden grade. So I would imagine he'll start a clear favourite, Eros, and Count the Headlights may even drift from that original price. I think the syndicates and sort of the big punters and the big teams, they're going to be looking at those big figures and very keen to back Eros. Sumatra's trialled very well up in Sydney. She's definitely in the game, but I think Count the Headlights has just got a lot of untapped ability, and I reckon it'll be better under race conditions. Just that turn of foot he showed in an 800-metre trial. If he can bring that to a 500-metre race, which I think is perfect for him on debut, I think he can give us a big show here.
And you're getting a really good price, $440. What price out of interest for the Blue Diamond did you take?
I took double what he is now. He's 30s now at TopSport. Maybe better other places if you keep shopping around. But, I think if he comes out and win on Saturday, like I said, the Blue Diamond's pretty open at the moment. Coolangatta's not coming. Jacquinot's obviously shown he's a smart horse. But again, I don't think he's a superstar. So I think if there's a horses that are going to come out and progress and, be right in that race, it'll be the winner of this race and the winner of the Preludes, probably the next two that are going to be right in contention. So you can maybe snap up a bit of the early price there. And if he wins on Saturday, I imagine he'll be starting a lot shorter and being set for the race.
What do you make of the Ben Allen booking for this horse?
Flights for the camp. Obviously does a lot of work with Marabi, and then he did a lot of work with Dragonet as well, which is under very similar connections. So they obviously got a lot of faith in Benny. I think Johnny Allen may have jumped out this horse. So Benny goes aboard here. I love Ben Allen. I reckon he's a real underrated jockey. I think he's just got as much ability as, your McNeils and all that have really kicked through. I just don't think he's had the opportunity to do so yet. So I think he's open for a big autumn. Really good sort of work by him associating himself with Mar Eustace. And, I think it's probably his autumn, Benny Allen, to really come out and shine and win a big one.
Yeah, outstanding stuff. All right, so Count the Headlights. Don't have to rush into back at $440 now if you want to take a price. Maybe half now and then half later. But the syndicates will probably just hammer in Eros. It's got those big figures. Looking at the punting form data from that from his first start down at Geelong. Okay, let's have a look at race 7, a 1,500-metre handicap here. The Mirasan hand sanitizer. Everyone's been smashing plenty of that lately. And the market here is unanimous. $3.40 in from $4 is favourite from the Mar Eustace camp with Jamie Carr on board. Great to have Jamie back. Fundraiser is $3.60 from the Ben and JD Hayes camp. John McNeil rides. Galactic Fury $7.50. High and Dry $8.50. Gammon Piero is $12. Neighbourhood $14. New Choice $15. Musclebrook $16 and $21 for Labau and Better the rest. We're going to have a look at Fundraiser in the benchmark 78 at Flemington over 1,200. He's got the white blaze and the blue and green stripes sort of out the back, inside of the track. Tell us why you like this one, Nico.
I think it's a real suitable race for this horse. This is a good run first up. Did probably a lot of his work through the middle stages of the race. Like 6 of the 4, he's the fastest split of that race. 4 of the 2, he's the second fastest split of the race. And then 2 of the posts, he's 4th fastest. So there's a few better closes, but I would imagine you take good benefit out of that run coming into this. He only had sort of a short sort of spell with 168 days. Looks pretty well set up for this. Like, he's a horse sort of going back to summer last year. He really put up a picket fence and got to sort of 84, nearly open class level, and then they tipped him out. I think he'll get to that level again, this preparation, and I'm not sure unanimous is kind of up to that. Does drop in the weight from his last start over 1,600, where I think he'll be suited getting back and trip, but I think this is a big factor of Jamie Carr going on, that the price is a lot shorter than it should be. I like Fundraiser, a clear favourite. He should have won second. Oh, he could have ran second up last prep to Corner Pocket. He's a real pattern sort of horse. He peaks second, third up. He gets a great run on the map here from barrier number 3. McNeil just seems to ride very well at Moonee Valley. When he racks up winners, it's usually there. So I think he just gets a lovely run, just camping in behind the speed. Unanimous is going to need a bit of luck. It's probably a race in 2, but I think Fundraiser should definitely be a favourite and probably closer to $3 than $4.
Okay, and then just no issue, 1,200 to 1,500.
No, he's kind of had that similar profile before and handled it. He was 1200 to 1440 last campaign, and he should have run a clear second. So Lindsay Park, they're really sort of finding form over this summer period. They're going to be a big camp to watch probably over the next year. I saw they brought a few 2-year-olds up there at the Magic Millions, and things have seemed to just change there ever since the training partnership of Ben and JD, and a lot of fresh ideas and placement of horses have become a lot better. So yeah, definitely no issues backing them at the moment. They're absolutely flying. So yeah, fundraiser on a day where I think you can find plenty of bets. I think if you've been like me and just had a little bit of a freshen up, this is a good meeting to get back into it. I think there's plenty of winners to be found. Salto Angel looks a good bet sort of early in the program, race 4. Gabira you can probably find in the last. Galgani I thought was overs in the last. So if you want to rip into it, punters, this is a good card just to sink your teeth into, get one away, and hopefully find a few winners.
Generally a punter's paradise, isn't it, Moonee Valley? I know the bookies don't love operating on there, and if you can get that track to be leaderish and find a horse that can settle in the first few pairs and get that rail worked out in the track pattern early, it can be easy picking. So maybe Nico's right. Perfect time to sink your teeth back into it. Nico, rest up. Nice little spell there. And again, yeah, maybe next Saturday, Nico will pump out a free trial. So if you've never tried Nico's yard stuff, make sure you jump into the Telegram group. I think he'll tweet it out, the link, and then from the Wednesday after, it'll become a paid subscription there. So he'll give you a little a free taste tester next Saturday. But the proof's in the pudding. There's a lot of people that subscribe to his yard stuff. And no doubt, once the carnival kicks up, he'll be absolutely on fire. And some of the good horses will come back on Thunderstruck, All-Star Mile. But Nico will be on course all through the Melbourne autumn. We'll try and chuck him in a couple of streams as well. So it's going to be a massive, massive year for Little Birdie. May even get Nico to steer a couple of punters clubs as well. So we don't always need to have the big TV production, but we might get Nico to run a couple of sneaky punters clubs. Him and DK might team up out wide on a provincial meeting and steer it too. So get well, Nico, and we can't wait to see you operate next Saturday.
Thanks, Scooty. Hopefully a few winners, and yeah, we'll kick on with it. 2022, let's go.
Can't wait to back more winners. All right, speaking of winners, puntingform.com.au is the best database in Australia. Nico uses it. Our next guest, Matt Reid, absolutely loves it, and it's been a game changer for me. For $2.97 per month, you can get the all the bells and whistles. So that's the Super Pro form. They got barrier, jockey, stats. They've got all the benchmark times, so you can dissect the race as best you can. You can also buy the raw data if you're clever, and you can build your own database. You can get the raw data from those guys, and they can even help you customize your own betting software. So make sure you check out puntingform.com.au. It's been a game changer for me, and it will be for you too. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll chat to Matt Reid from TasRacing next. Welcome back to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot, and I've got Matt Reid, aka Snapper from TasRacing, and he's going to preview a couple of big races on Sunday. As I said before, it's an awesome time to go down to Tassie for a holiday if you can whisk the missus away and the kids. Book a couple of days down at Tassie and start to get through their classic series. Launceston Cup, I've been to a couple of times now, and the hospitality is second to none. It's a beautiful little track, but all the races there, it's nice little country tracks, all compared to, I guess, your big Flemingtons and your Caulfields. But the racing's good, same pool of horses. The form's easy to get your teeth stuck into, but someone who knows the form inside out is Snapper. Welcome to the show, mate. Welcome back.
Thanks, Scooty. Thanks for having me on. I was honoured to get the call up from you to promote the big meeting this weekend.
Mate, ex-Betfair man and a big puntingform.com.au user, and even the TasRacing side. I was checking out a couple of the replays last night, and it's a breeze to use. And wow, if you're a professional punter, if you're trying to cut your teeth and look at a smaller pool of horses, what a great place to start to do the Tassie form.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've put a lot of work over time into the TasRacing website, and we're pretty receptive just to try to give everything to punters, really. We try and have data for all the codes, and as you said, replays, maps, all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I might be a bit biased, but I think compared to a lot of the PRAs, we stack up pretty well.
And you've only got a couple of different tracks. You can work out the quirks with them. I guess the synthetic form is a little bit of a curveball, and then I guess the wet tracks and things like that, but less horses and less variables.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, we got Devonport, which is the carpet track. It takes out one sort of variable in terms of trying to work out how the track plays. And then Launceston and Hobart are different tracks in themselves. Launceston's sort of more of a diamond-shaped track. You got a run down the side and a short run up the straight, and Hobart's a bit more spacious, and that track's been much maligned in terms of the issues that the surface has had, but we're coming up to the second anniversary this year. And I think as the weather's improved across summer, the track's in great condition and been racing really well in Hobart. And I think the forecast suggests we'll have a great program and great weather for it on Sunday.
And where do you make most of your money? What's your best track?
Oh, look, it varies, mate. For a long time, it was Devonport. Just the ability to take out one of those variables with a synthetic. I know it's not for everyone, but it sort of comes in peaks and troughs. I think Hobart, for me, has probably traditionally been the hardest track to punt on. I touched on the issues with the surface in Hobart before, but that essentially meant that quite a few northern trainers weren't comfortable bringing their horses down, which meant we had the southern trainers and, in particular, Scotty Brunton propping up the numbers for a lot of races. And I just think it foggies the form a bit for me when you've got one trainer with potentially half the field.
Yeah, it's a funny one, that. But what about the Elwick Stakes this Sunday? I guess the flagship, or this is the flagship 2-year-old race to kick off the carnival, and then it just cranks up from here. This is the good racing starts from Sunday, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the countdown, we had the Devonport Cup, last Wednesday week, and now we sort of ramp up towards the Launceston and Hobart Cups. The Elwick Stakes is the first black-type 2-year-old race of the year. It's in the Gold Sovereign, are our pinnacle races. It's generally won by our best 2-year-old, the Elwick Stakes. Turk Warrior won it last year. GG Josie won it the year before. Mystic Journey and Admiral are on the honour roll in the last decade. So generally our best juvenile wins it, and that'll probably be the case again this year.
All right, let's have a look at your top tip. The markets aren't out, but it'll be fastest finger first, and no doubt you'll be chomping at the bit. But let's have a look at the 1,100-metre lead-up race, and Adam Trinder's got the favourite here, or the horse that you found here in the white with the red sleeves, the Mystic Journey colours. Let's have a look at last 400 out in front here, and tell us why you like it.
Yeah, so Bellow Bow, Mystic Journey colours, same owner. This was the first horse for the season that Adam Trinder had brought down to Hobart, a $70,000 purchase. So there are a lot of eyeballs waiting on Bellow Bow. What I liked about this performance is that he did the work out in front here, and the favourite in the GG's colours, GG Jetby, just camped out behind, looked for all money that he was going to run straight past Bellow Bow, but Bellow Bow fought back tenaciously to win. It was the debut run for that horse, whereas GG Jetby had 3 runs for the campaign. I think with that look at the Hobart track and their respective stages of the preparation, it's going to be difficult for anything out of that race to turn the tables on Bellow Bow, and I think he'll be favourite in the race. One sort of fly in the ointment for trainer Adam Trinder is that Brendan McCool, who rode the horse in that race that we just saw there, has unfortunately been injured. He's got a bung knee, so he didn't ride in Launceston on Wednesday night. He's not riding in Hobart on Sunday, but Adam's been able to pivot and secure the services of Jason Maskell, so doesn't lose anything there.
They put a massive gap on it, and as you said, just really dug in, and you love that. Like, you love when a leader can kick away like that, can't you? Yeah,
exactly. And look, only the runner-up had a faster 200 off the punting form sectional data, and as I said, the leader did all the work up on the speed and still had that kick as well. The third horse there, trained by Gary White, decent margin back to third, Remuda, but he'll need to improve quite a bit. And, I struggle to see anything turning the tables from that race. I've got him a clear favourite in this race, Bellow Bow, and I think if you can get black odds, I'd be happy to take it. I've marked him around about the $1.90 mark. If there is to be a horse that might potentially cause an upset, Pink Beauty, trained by Glenn Stevenson, was a bit of a spruik horse coming out of the Alpha Bowl, had the fastest final 4 and 200 of that race, which was won by GG Jetby. There's been a very late gear change here, so depending on when you've looked at the form guide, this horse has had the approval to wear blinkers, so not an insignificant gear change either. The horse started favourite last time out, over 1,000 in Hobart. dropping back in distance never looked ideal off its debut run, but it came up very short. And I've sort of looked at that performance like a bit of a fact-finding mission for Pink Beauty. Trained in the north of the state, up near Devonport, had its one previous start in Launceston, came down for Hobart for a look at the track. Wasn't suited by the way that race was run, a bit of a Sid sprint affair, but I think 1100 still as short as Pink Beauty wants it. But Bellow Bow and Pink Beauty are the two horses that I'm looking at with a strong lean to Bellow Bow, who I think will be the well-supported favourite.
Gets an okay draw there, and even money looks the backable price. And as I said, it's probably got more upside. It's only had one start. A few of these have had a few turns around the track, and they'll only improve in fitness, you would have thought. And Adam Trinder is a very astute and well-respected trainer. All right, let's have a look at the other feature is race 8, the Tasmanian Bloodstock Summer Cup. And the Devonport Cup here is the right sort of form for this, but it's on the Syntho. But tell us who you like here.
Well, there's a heap of horses that come through this race, Scooty, which is why I suggested to highlight the Devonport Cup. It was won by White Hawk in a three-way photo, and White Hawk incidentally won this race last year, shared the photo with Sir Simon the Grey on the inside, and Swoop Dog, who was the well-supported favourite, had a charmed run, but just got knocked off by White Hawk in the shadows of the post. The challenge I find with the Summer Cup, it's the final lead-up for the Hobart Cup, which is in 3 weeks' time. This is a golden ticket race, so if you win the Summer Cup, you're guaranteed to be in. But with these traditional lead-up races, it's always a challenge in terms of what are Connection's motives for trying to win this race. The prize money's been increased from 50 up to 75, so that certainly makes it a lot stronger carrot to try and win. But you're juggling up horses that might not want to get a ratings penalty for a race like this versus others that legitimately need to win the race to get in. And when White Hawk won this race last year, it was a very slowly run affair, and he won from the front at a triple-figure price. So it's trying to juggle those different sort of motives for trying to win a race like this. But the horse that I think will probably come up favourite, and I mark favourite, is Sir Simon. He got to the Hobart Cup last year. He's a horse that a lot of punters will know well. He's been over to Victoria a few times. In the Hobart Cup last year, he was 16 into 750, widely tipped, was beaten 6 lengths in the race won by WT, but I don't think he runs a strong 2400. And I actually think Sir Simon might be a horse that uses this as a sort of a mini grand final for his preparation. He goes from the 1880 there at Devonport, where he was very brave. The stablemate served it up to him, but I think if he could win the Summer Cup at 2200, I'm not sure he's a horse that would actually go on to run in the Hobart Cup after what we saw last year. And I think he might even be freshened to drop back to a mile weight for age race on Launceston Cup Day. So I think he's hard to beat. He'll get favours up on speed. And as I said last year, that was favoured in this race, and he should get a softer time of it than he had in Devonport.
All right, so Bellow Bow's probably the best on the program there, Snap. And I guess the Devonport Cup's probably a meeting that I'd give a bit of a swerve to. A couple of interesting characters out of Devonport. But if you're planning a bit of a jaunt to Tassie and you're sick of the ice, so sick of all the lockdowns, and now things have opened back up, I'd be probably tipping Clover Hill and get down to the Champagne there and make sure you're a subscriber of Clover Hill Wines. But which is the best day for you? Would you prefer the Hobart Cup or the Lonnie Cup, and take the car around Tassie and do a bit of a tour? What do you tip?
Oh, look, they're both excellent. For me personally, Scooty, I like the Lonnie Cup because it's a 2-hour drive from me. Get the opportunity to leave the missus and child at home and head up for a couple of nights. You can go up that way and play Barnbougle. Hobart's an excellent spot, though. I mean, from the racetrack, you'll actually see the horses run past the Jack Jumpers home stadium, which backs onto the Elwick racetrack. So you've got the opportunity to go and catch a Jack Jumpers game and go and see Mona as well. And looking ahead to the Hobart Cup, which is in 3 weeks' time, that meeting's run on a Sunday, and we run our derby on the Friday as well. So there's a mini carnival there too.
Yeah, good time.
You want to come down to Hobart. Similar for Launceston, where we've got the Oaks on Sunday and Launceston Cup on Wednesday. So pretty diplomatic answer, Scooty. You know, we've got this north-south attraction in Tassie. I don't want to upset anyone, and I have to see these people at the races, so I've got to be diplomatic.
It's an outstanding place to go, and especially while the world's all sort of locked off. I think I went down to Stevie Walters, the harness bookies, party, one of his birthday parties down there early in the year. It was fantastic stuff, the food and wine. And if you can get a hire car, the hire cars are a bit of a rort, but they have to clip you somewhere. It's a fantastic couple of days. And if you can tie in some racing, all the better. And if you're following Snapper's tips on the TasRacing site, you'll just pay for the whole trip anyway. He's a very astute judge. I know the tips trackers on Twitter all give you massive raps, but I've seen it firsthand, and I'm a big follower of your stuff. So thanks for joining me, Snapper. Good luck for the rest of the carnival, and hopefully we can snag you on for another couple of episodes on some of the big features.
Absolutely. Thanks, Goody. I think you've got a tip for people coming down too in terms of the hire car. If you get one from Lonnie, you can't leave it at Devonport.
I'll tell you what, I've had just some absolutely shocking luck of leaving cars at different hire places, and I think the last time we came down, I got the early price, $750, locked in the car company. They cancelled on me, and then I had to use a different company for $1,200. So I've had, that's only one story, Snapper, that you know, but there's many there. But there's plenty of rorts on the hire cars in Tassie. I'd love to own a share in one of those businesses. You got me there. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate. We'll talk soon.
Dear, he's got a good memory, Snapper. All right, it's time to talk to Mug and get his morals, but he's north from 3 last week. He's under pressure, and I think he likes one of CJ Wobblers this week. So listen.
Hi, guys. Mug's moral this week. We go to race 4, Randwick. Number 7, and we danced. It should have won last time. It just got out at the wrong time. It's honest in defeat. It looks fit at this time over the 1600. It will be midfield. Coming home with K McAvoy on board and should be winning. The Mug's moral this week is race 4, number 7, and we danced for the Chris Waller stable. It is $3.40 on TopSport, but every time the Mug tips something, it drifts. And the other selections for the Mug, the Mug likes 2 other things. Race 7, number 7, Selena's Dreaming. And in race 8, the Mug likes race 8, number 13, Through the Cracks. So the Mug's moral this week, guys, is race 4, number 7, and we danced. And the other tips are race 8, number 13, Through the Cracks, and race 7, number 7, Selena's Dreaming. Good luck, Little Birdie subscribers. And what does the Mug say after every win? Go find your bookie. Good luck and see you next week.
That was Mug's moral. He's an absolute beauty, isn't he? And him and Walter having a little bit of a side spat, so it's always a little bit of entertainment. So, yeah, fingers crossed he can get And We Dance over the line. And as we said, he's just starting to creep in with 3 tips, but we just prefer one. We just need one golden bullet. And he's a little bit down on confidence. He's saying all his horses are drifting at the moment, but he was pretty hot in spring. There was a couple of horses that just absolutely caved in. So he needs to get his eye back in the Mug, but be interesting to see how he goes with his 3 tips this weekend. Let's have a look at the TopSport Steamers. The first one here is Randwick Race 6, number 3, and it's Desert Icon, $7.50 at $8 there. Might tweet that one out and see if Walt has found it. And the other 2 here is Doomed Race 4, number 2, and that's C. Marie, $1,500 at $2.80. Might be a little bit of a query there over 2,000 metres. And this next bet really interests me. Doom and Race 6, number 7 is Amity Girl, $2,500 at $2.40. It's a full sister to Duais, I think, from the Ed Cummings yard. So that could be the pick of the 3. Race 6, number 7 at Doom and Amity Girl. That might be your banker for the week. It's been a fantastic little ISO episode. We've covered a little bit of the ground. We've gone to Sydney and the Valley, and even Snapper's insights around Hobart. Fascinating stuff, but he is a very astute judge, and make sure you get his free tips on TasRacing site, the Tassie Carnival. A couple of good trainers just target and set horses. There's some good little, I guess, second tier sort of derby horses that bob up, and a lot of familiar names that you can follow there. And Scotty Brunton has an absolute field day there. So it's an easy place to pick up a couple of winners. So make sure you check out the Tassie Racing Carnival and get around it. And if you're lucky enough, head down to Launceston Cup. I couldn't tip it highly enough. All right, that's a wrap from us. Make sure you check out the Daily Gas. It's still running free once you download the Little Birdie app, and you can just check out our littlebirdie.live and you register your interest for the Daily Gas. So if you jump on board before 11 o'clock on Saturday, we'll make sure that you're hooked up to get the tips. So that'll just pump out for free this Saturday, and the Daily Gas is running for free all day Saturday, and then until the end of January. So I think they tipped a $10 winner yesterday at Oakbank, so got their noses in front again. So I think for January it's having a really good run on the punt. All right, that's a wrap from us. Big thanks to TopSport, Punting Form and Manscaped for the sponsorship, and we'll see you next week.